I am now introducing Insane Ian. Achievement unlocked!
I bet I can eat more waffles than you, so that's what I'm gonna do. Waffles are the most perfect food, and I've got a lot to prove.
Greetings, Internet, and welcome to another episode of A Comedy Musician Reacts. My name is Insane Ian, I'm a comedy musician and comedy music fan, and on this show I react to comedy music from the perspective of a comedy musician. Because that's what I am, and that's what I do, and that's what this is, and that's why you're here, and that's why this week I am reacting to FNAF Kids from the Chalkeaters. If this is your first time joining us, yes, I am a comedy musician, and I react exclusively to comedy music because that is where my field of expertise lies. What this means for you is that I'm going to pause the video, kind of a lot actually. This way I'm not talking over or laughing over the jokes and missing them. This way I can discuss how the lyrics and video work in tandem to help enhance the jokes. Sometimes I'm either breaking things down or explaining how jokes work, because that's always fun for people, and sometimes I'm just sitting back and laughing my damn head off. It's a crapshoot whatever you're going to get, but I think it's a good time either way. If you like that sort of thing, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things to feed the algorithm to get more eyeballs onto these videos. And if you really want to help the channel out, consider supporting me on Patreon, where patrons get to see these videos early, get my music and comedy early, and all sorts of other cool things like that. Anyway, all of that out of the way, let us dive in to this week's video. Now, this week's video features quite a few guest artists with the Chalkeaters. Apparently Black Griffin is back playing Professor Chalk, which we can see in the opening shot. Black Griffin plays Professor Chalk in many of the other songs, so that's the only reason I know that. Die Huesta, who I'm not familiar with. Stupendium, who I am familiar with. OR3O, who I've seen I saw it at Nerdcore PartyCon, and have checked out some of her songs. They're great. And of course, MatPat. It wouldn't be a FNAF thing if MatPat wasn't involved. So, lots of guest voices in this. Let's dive in and check it out. As a small warning, as I've said in a couple other FNAF songs that I've reacted to, I don't know too much about FNAF. Five Nights at Freddy's, for the layman. I don't know entirely a lot about it. I know the gist. I don't know the lore. So, you know, some things may go over my head, and if I miss them, whoops. But I'm looking for more of the comedy elements and stuff that I do get, obviously. But, yeah. Pressing the button. Okay, first, let me turn off the secondary subtitles that I suddenly have, because there's already subtitles on it, so, let's take it back a little bit, and try that again, because I was interrupted by myself. It's fun. Yeah.
I've never been a fan of indie horror trend, made to fit a modern kid's attention span. They don't need open worlds, they choose a tiny cage. They fill your eyes and lore out of a single page.
Okay, so it's about the easily consumable nature of indie horror games, in that, you know, we don't give you a lot, but there's a lot of backstory outside of the game, and then, you know, a lot of people dive into that because it's easy to get clicks of Markiplier screaming. You know, that shows other games like Street Fighter 2 and Doom that have a long and storied history, although not really much on plot for those games either, let's be honest. FNAF has a huge amount of plot and a lot of lore and backstory, and Doom and Street Fighter don't. Street Fighter is a fighting competition, and that's the end. And Doom is you're fighting hell spawn demons and stuff that have taken over the corpses of other military guys in the original Doom, anyway. All because your pet bunny was killed. That's true. That's what Doom is about in the original PC version stuff. Weird. Anyway, yes, we pull a lot of lore from it. The lore videos, you know, that's MatPat's biggest thing, is all the FNAF lore game theory. It's a theory. A game theory. Anyway.
Kojima and Romero's words firsthand.
Okay, I like that. You know, taking the students, because he's Professor Chalk, on a field trip to teach them more about the other games that I like, that I grew up with, and that I know that have a lot of lore with Hideo Kojima's games, like the Metal Gear Solid games, or you know, most recently Death Stranding. My favorite game of all time is a Hideo Kojima game called Snatcher. Came out for Sega CD in America, but it came out for hundreds of systems over in Japan. It was originally, I think, a ZX Spectrum game or something before that. And, you know, was on Sega CD, was on PlayStation in Japan, was on Sega Saturn in Japan. The American Sega CD version, I think, was the first one to include the light gun, and I think it's the only one to have the light gun, and is considered one of the best versions, despite the light gun use. It is a little censored as far as gore and nudity, because America. But, like, there's a code that, like, puts some of it back from the original Japanese version. Anyway, regardless, it's my favorite game of all time. And, of course, Romero would be George Romero, Night of the Living Dead. I think, no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. I'm dumb. Sorry, I'm dumb. Romero would be John Romero, who created Doom, because he's talking about video games. I think George Romero, because I like the Night of the Living Dead movies, because I like zombies. That was just a little bit of me there, not this. Sorry. But yeah.
But as I looked away, they found a new display, and 3 exhibits perished on the stage. I heard something creeping, that's behind the walls. The music box sings out the truth.
Okay, I want to go back here real quick, because they found a new display in this, I suppose, video game museum. The floor looked like a Pac-Man maze as they were walking through. They found a new display, and it's 3 exhibits perished on a stage. Wouldn't that be perched on a stage? Perished means they died, and they don't look like they died. It just looks like it's the three of the creatures from FNAF, which is Freddy Fazbear. I think the Chica is Chica, or Chica, and I don't know what the bunny is. Or is that a fox? I can't tell. Again, I don't know. But yeah, alright. 3 exhibits perished on a stage. This is what they're saying.
Perished on the stage. I heard something creeping, that's behind the walls. The music box sings out the truth. Kids are all gone, I see nothing here at all.
Hey, nothing like having an animatronic come to life to try to do anything. Any animatronic coming to life is going to be inherently scary. You know, the whole idea of FNAF to me is just, hey, it's Chuck E. Cheese analog. You know, because Chuck E. Cheese had all the animatronics. Actually, more of the Rockafire explosion kind of thing. They were more of, like, the animatronic band. But, like, you know, you have a kid's party center where you have, like, video games and pizza and stuff. So, Chuck E. Cheese, Rockafire, stuff like that. And, the band is called Rockafire Explosion. I don't actually know what the name of the place that Rockafire is from is called. I only know the animatronic band. But yeah, so, like, you know, it's that analog of them, like, suddenly coming to life. Yeah, somebody was crawled inside one of the animatronics and died inside it, so, like, the souls are in it or something. Lore! Lots of lore! So, yeah, I get all of that, but it's always funny to me that, like, hey, let's take Chuck E. Cheese and make it a horror thing. Anything can be a horror thing. Also, I love the idea that they've tried to make the Five Nights at Freddy movies like 3 times. The first time, this company had the license for it, and then they lost it, and so they instead used a different license they had for the Banana Splits, which was an old 70s TV show, and turned that into a horror movie, the Banana Splits movie. And then another company had the rights to it and lost the rights to it, and instead made Willy's Wonderland with Nick Cage. And then finally they actually got the FNAF movie made. Things.
But something pulls my hand, so that's the end. My time
Oh.
out so soon. Calm down, you're doing really well. Yeah, just like us when we were 12. Hold this flashlight, it's gonna help a little bit, just a little bit.
So the kids who are familiar with the game and have played it since they were 12 are helping Professor Chalk. get through this whole idea of living through Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay. I'm getting the concept of the song. Focus on the fan. Yeah, because, like, you're in the security booth with the fan on you, and it's, like, one of the only other things, like, other than the monitors for you to, like, look at, other than, like, let's not look at the monitors and shut the doors, and because otherwise giant creatures will come in and bite your face off. I hate when creatures bite my face off. It's a major inconvenience. Appropriate. The fox is named Foxy, and the giant chicken is named Chica. They thought really hard about these names. It sounded like they sang, whoever was singing this, which I assume is DeHesta because I don't recognize the voice, and it didn't sound like Stupendium or Oreo, was saying FNAF instead of FNAF. FNAF. There's no A between the F and the N. So it's FNAF. It's not FNAF, I would think. But maybe they're just throwing in an extra syllable to make things scansion. I guess. I don't know. Poverty, crowbar to the knee, turn them into marketable plushies, Hoover jump scare, slippery floor. Audio lures, controlled shock, eye contact, fire, high risk, strategies, animatronics. Yeah, doors, lights. All of this sounds like hazards and things you can do in the game. I don't know about the crowbar to the knee or anything like that. Maybe some of the later games. Turn them into marketable plushies. That's just what they've done. Yeah, so, sure. The kids have the strategy, and they know how to get through this. So just be patient a little bit longer. That's Matt Pat on the phone. I recognize the voice there.
They're pretty slow, so just stay low. Keep cameras on and avoid the stress. Yeah, but once you shot it, we know it by heart. It's kind of obvious what you've been doing here from the start. 10 years of written red in my patterns, medals, and I'm only keeping ready to
Okay. Talking about lore or theories about games is now just called Matt Patting. Matt Pat, you've become a verb. That's amazing. That's phenomenal. Let's take it back here a little bit. So Matt Pat giving tips over the phone. Appropriate.
keep cameras on and avoid the stress. Yeah, but once you shot it, we know it by heart. It's kind of obvious what you've been doing here from the start. 10 years of written red in my patterns, medals, and I'm only keeping
Got Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Freddy. The pattern is nothing new. I'm guessing those are all the animatronics, because Freddy Fazbear I got, and Chica, and Foxy, obviously. Bonnie, I guess, is another one. So many creatures. Okay, that's pretty clever. No one puts you back together in a Chalkeaters AU, in a Chalkeaters alternate universe. Or animated universe, as the case may be, because a lot of their videos are animated. That's just clever fourth wall breaking, technically. Yeah, you know. You die in the song, you die for real, or something. I don't know. It just struck me as clever.
from the start. 10 years of written red in my patterns, medals, and I'm only keeping ready to pattern another new.
Man, this is just what better get better headed is because no one puts you back together in a Chalkeaters AU.
FNAF made us who we are, and we made it something more. Bringing game music out and debating all the lore.
Like a fire, like a spark, just a
Drink it to the core, so you kiss your back goodbye when you're back at 24.
Okay, so they mentioned Markiplier kind of boosting it, and Tombstone, I think, is probably the living Tombstone, who, you know, kind of broke out with their FNAF song, and now are doing the music for Has-Been Hotel. I knew Sam from Living Tombstone when he was in a group called Sam and Bill that did comedy music. So I knew them. Weirdly, I met them at MagFest doing comedy music, and then they went on to do Living Tombstone, which is nerdcore rock. Yes, obviously that's where those references come in. We're Your Bite of 24. I went too far back. I hit the wrong button. Also, apologies if the audio gets a little glitchy. It's something to do with the capture. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. And I can't do anything about it because it's so inconsistent, so I apologize if it gets a little crunchy in the audio. It's just one of those things. Also, yes, the time that this video hits YouTube, Stupendium has a solo song hitting YouTube. It's not a comedy song, so I won't be reacting to it here. I will, however, be reacting to it on my Patreon, so keep an eye on that if you want to see me react to that. Anyway, moving on.
In a Chalkeaters and you.
Here's who we are, and we made it something more. Bringing great music out, inventing all alone.
Like a fly, like a spark,
Take it to the core, so you kiss your friends goodbye. When you're
Yeah, Kiss Your Faz Goodbye was the line before, We're Your Bite of 24. Kiss Your Faz Goodbye really, really hit me. That was very funny because Freddy Fazbear saying Faz instead of ass, substituting other words for swears sometimes is an easy giggle for me.
Did I become an old man who yells at clouds? My insecurities formed.
Oh yeah, so like, you and you kids back in my day, I used to have these games, not this easily marketable, everybody doing it on the different YouTube's things. Yeah, old man yells at cloud. It's Abe Simpson, the headline from The Simpsons, Old Man Yells at Cloud. Meme culture is really big with the Chalkeaters songs, I've noticed, perhaps. I dig that. It's good.
This kid was too proud and the crowd just seemed too loud. He welcomed no one to his world. So are there beautiful fandoms all around? I feel I've been missing a time. Bronies make art, should I maybe try Minecraft?
Yes, bronies make art. That's the thing about fandoms. Even the fandoms of the games that you're talking about from your past. People, when they find something that they love, they make many things involved in that thing they love. That's what nerdcore is in some points. Nerdcore is, hey, I love this particular pop culture thing, be it anime or video games or Star Trek, sci-fi, fantasy films, Lord of the Rings, whatever, anything that you have a given obsessive love for. So I feel, because I have this love for it, I'm going to make a song about it. Or, whatever of the like. It goes back to frickin' filk music of the 60s and 70s. Filk, for some of you kids who may not know, is the progenitor of nerdcore. Filk music is folk music that was about sci-fi and fantasy and stuff. In the late 60s, early 70s, mid 70s, conventions were suddenly starting to be a thing because of Star Trek going into syndication, because after it was canceled there was a whole letter writing campaign to get the show to come back. Didn't happen, but it came back in syndication, and they did the animated show instead. So because of that, conventions became a thing, and people in fandom wanted to show their love for the shows and wrote songs about it, and it became known as filk. There's a lot of questionable stuff about the history of filk, of whether or not the name was intentional or not. The rumor is that there was a sign that said filk music tonight, that it was supposed to say folk music tonight, and it was a typo, and it just became the name of the music after that, became filk. And then later on, people were like, oh no, the FI in filk is for the FI in sci-fi. But also filk can be about fantasy as well, and other things. So people were writing, songs about Lord of the Rings and Sime Gen, so it wasn't just Star Trek and Blake 7, Doctor Who, what have you. So filk songs and filk circles have been with conventions, since conventions. And, to have that kind of, like, spawn into what nerdcore is today, and what nerdcore was at least 10, 15 years ago, back when I started doing this kind of stuff myself, it's evolved. It's always evolving. Music genres are always moving forward and everything, but, it all has this basis in this other form that came before it. filk was always usually acoustic. There are electric filk bands now too, but then there are also people who strictly refer to themselves as nerdcore, and nerdcore is definitely filk adjacent, let's say. And comedy music, in all around of all of that, is kind of like a subgenre within the genre, because some filk is funny, and some filk is parodies of things, and some filk isn't. Sometimes they're just serious songs about things. And sometimes that's how nerdcore is, too. A lot of early nerdcore was very humor-based. Your artists like MC Lars and MC Chris, MC Frontalot had a lot of very clever things. And they did occasional serious songs, but like most of their stuff was kind of humorous-based. And Stupendium, obviously, in the modern nerdcore, does things that are serious and funny, does both. Ride the gamut. So not all comedy music is not all nerdcore is comedy music, but most comedy music is nerd. They are separate genres, but they can inhabit other things, because comedy music, as I've said before on this show, I'm talking a lot, it happens. Comedy music is one of those genres that can be any genre. You can have a comedy country song, you can have a comedy ska song, you can have a comedy hip-hop song, you can have a comedy nerdcore song, you can have a comedy rock song, you can have a comedy polka song. Any genre can still be a comedy song. Comedy is also a genre, but it can also play every genre. And that's the beauty of comedy music, in my opinion. That's why, you have funny nerdcore songs, like this one, like the Stupendium that I react to. So... when people have an obsessive, what I started saying with all of this, when people have this obsession with, like, a thing that they love, and they want to express their love for that, be it through art, music, what have you, that's a normal thing. So to be surprised by that with bronies and FNAF and Minecraft, it's not that surprising. Everybody did it. They're Street Fighter songs. Starbomb has a song about Street Fighter. There are plenty of people who've done songs about Doom and other older games. MC Frontalot has a song about Zork. Zork, which is a text-based video game. It's called It Is Pitch Dark. If you haven't heard it, seek it out, because Frontalot's amazing. Also, around this time is that I'm recording this is like the anniversary of one of the times when I opened for Frontalot in Baltimore. Facebook memories. But yeah, no. A text-based video game got a song. Yes, we're making stuff for the stuff we love. I took a long time to say that. Some of you are here for that, some of you aren't. Thanks for joining me on the ride. He unearths an Atari 2600. Oh, okay. Well, we stopped Freddy Fazbear by doing a little bit of Rule 34 art of him looking a little buffer with a leather harness. I don't want to know where they got the idea for that, if they thought of that, or if they found that, if that drawing existed before this video. That's a thing. I'm hearing mostly Stupendium on the choruses. I'm not hearing specific voice of Stupendium. I picked out OR3O earlier, but I'm not catching Stoops' voice too much heavy in this mix. I think Stoops and D. Cuesta, I'm probably mispronouncing that, and I apologize. Taking a lot of the dual vocals together, also with OR3O. I'm not hearing a lot of solo lines from Stupendium, although I could be missing it, because Stoops does a lot of really great character voices, so maybe they were doing a character voice and I missed it. I apologize, but yeah. So yeah, custom nights and days. I know that a lot of people make their own mods or versions of FNAF to have like more things to do, because like waiting on game developers to do other things. They're like, we don't want to wait. Let's do our own. Let's incorporate our own lore into this. And for fan-made games, because fan-made games is a great thing too. They mentioned the slippery floor before, and so the other guy knocked Chica out of the way or scared her off by putting up a wet floor sign so that she can't slip. So she's like, I'm not even going to bother trying, and runs off. Instead of Foxy, looks like a rabbit in this shot. Let's be honest. Starts rocking out. It just joined the band now. Here comes a keyboard, which knocks him out. Okay, that's Foxy. I guess the bunny would be Bonnie. Oh, that makes sense. Bunny, Bonnie, that sounds the same. Look, I'm learning, kids. It happens. Yeah, they're like not like super scared of them. They're just kind of like, oh, we're gonna fight back. I love the line, and I laughed at it before, and I didn't mention it. You had Care Bears, we had bear scares. Yeah, because Freddy Fazbear scared us, and Care Bears were the nice things. It's a very 80s thing. Care Bears was a time. I know a couple people who still collect Care Bears. It's a thing. It's very pastel, and they're just stuffed animals with different symbols on their dummies that meant a different thing. And a Care Bear stare was all the symbols would come out and heal everything and make everything happy. And the 80s were trippy. Cartoons that were built to sell toys. That was an Atari. That was an Atari stick for the 2600, but was like more of an 8-bit version of, actually almost 16-bit looked like. Too many pixels for it to just be Atari. Atari was like 4-bit, let's be honest. So it looked a little too graphic intensive to actually be an Atari game. But, creative license. Yeah. Oh, he's reprogrammed them through the game. Okay, so DiQuesta as Damien, Stupendium as Theo, Oreo as Alex, with Matt Pat as the phone guy. Characters weren't introduced with names, so I didn't know who Theo or Damien were. Alex, I assume, was the girl with the blue hair, because that's Oreo's voice came out of her in one shot. So I don't know who was who for Stupendium. Stupendium apparently may have been doing a character voice. But no, that was really fun. It's a bop of a song, and yeah, it has some really decent comedy moments. I went on a tangent, which is always fun. No, I dig this. This was a lot of fun. Okay, indies to catch up on: Hollow Knight, hell yeah. Undertale or Deltarune, no thank you. Night in the Woods, bought it, still need to play it. Friday Night Funkin'. The only reason I know about Friday Night Funkin' is because Needle Juice Records did a vinyl of it, and that's the only reason I know about it, because friends of mine run Needle Juice. Cuphead, amazing, love Cuphead. Celeste, great game. One something Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares is not an indie. It's published by Ubisoft. Doki Doki Literature Club, obviously we know about that. Disco Elysium, fantastic game. I can't see, I think that's Inscription underneath his thumb. Something else, Bendy and the Ink Machine. Oh dear. I have played Bendy on this channel in some of the lives, and I stopped. Slay the Princess, Five Nights at Freddy's, etc. Okay, yeah. I have opinions. And the Chalkeaters symbol. Yeah. That's great. A couple more seconds there. No, it's just focusing in on that, and that's the end. With all the credits and Patreon stuff there. Yeah. I dug that. I hope you did too. If you want to check it out, of course, without me yammering all over it, link is in the description box below, but if you liked this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things to feed the algorithm to get more eyeballs onto these videos. And if you really want to help the channel out like these folks over here do, you can go to patreon.com/InsaneIan, where you can get these reactions early, get my music and comedy early, and all sorts of other perks like that. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye.